G'day patrons, happy Sunday. Okay, apologies for not getting a video to you yesterday, but I end up having to work 10 hours. I've got the N95 mask, so hopefully it doesn't shock too badly. And I got home, I was exhausted. So I spent time with the family. I normally write at night time, so for those who are new, my process is that I wake up early every morning, like at 6 a.m. I either write, shoot or edit, and then I go to work, and then when I get home after the kids are in bed I do that again. And but this week obviously I've been stretched and getting out, you know, the High Court Challenge, doing more than 10 interviews, and yeah, just I didn't have the capacity yesterday to get you a video, so sorry about that one. Also, because of that, this morning I got up and I was like, oh gosh, you know, like I need to get a video to Zach and Jesse. I want to post today on publicly a follow-up video, the ones that you saw on Friday, on the reaction sort of stuff around, you know, the High Court Challenge and how that's going with support. And so I was like, I don't have time to actually write a good script today and do the usual stuff detailing about technological advances on getting us to cleaner, greener ways of operating. So I did some, and then I started deleting, and I started deleting more, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a bit of a short episode, which is okay. I do that, it is nothing newsworthy, but this week there's a lot that's newsworthy, so what I'll do is I'll post some links below for stuff that you might want to go check out if you haven't already. And it's going to be definitely more of a, I've unscripted a lot of this video, so except for the Zach and Jesse bit. So it'd be interesting to see how it turns out. It's going to be a bit more opinion based. I'm going to be stretching, looking for facts like this, and hopefully people will find that entertaining and engaging. We'll see. We shall see. So again, thanks for your support. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I think we should get into it now. Let's do it. On today's show, Tesla full self-driving public release, Model Y rumours, and let's unpack the GM Bolt recall. G'day and welcome, and thanks for coming along. If you're enjoying this sort of content, please do consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. And if you want to see more content like this and get early access to news, polls and behind the scenes, consider joining me over here on Patreon, where you get all this and a lot more from as little as $2.50 per month. And a big thanks to my Patreon team, in particular my producers, Adam Tyson, Alan Burns, Ashley Hill, Chaotic Media Technology, David Lindham, MNICT Specialist, Nigel Ferry, and Tessa Nagom. Okay, today's show is going to be a little bit different. A little bit more opinion than news, but I think there's some important stuff going on, so let's unpack. First of all, the GM Bolt recall. If you haven't heard, in recent times there's been more than 12 fires associated with electric vehicles called Bolt. They're over in America and out in Australia, but I think it's worthwhile talking about because the ramifications of how this has been handled will affect the whole car industry. So in a statement, GM said that in an effort to reduce potential damage to structures and nearby vehicles in the rare event of a potential fire, we recommend parking on the top floor of an open-air deck car park and 50 feet from another vehicle. Additionally, we still request you do not leave your vehicle charging unattended, even if you're using a charging station in a parking deck. This is ridiculous. Plug in, walk away. That's what electric vehicles are about, right? You don't need to stay there like you do with a conventional car. Nah. This 50 feet thing means that you basically stay with your car, don't park in the other ones. You've made the car unusable, and it's bad on so many levels. Now, for context, last year General Motors offered a software update that limited the charging capacity of the Bolt to about 90%. And that has similar ringtone, a bit of a pun here, to the iPhone throttling that Apple did. But they didn't tell owners of their iPhones they were doing that. And they got in a lot of trouble for that. But nonetheless, this fix of, hey, let's just decrease the capacity of a battery is a bit of a band-aid, let's face it. So this recall has been extended to more than 141,000 vehicles with no actual process in place right now for owners. Something isn't right here, and either GM or battery supplier LG Chem need to fix it like yesterday. It's bad. It's bad for their image, it creates mistrust, and so much more. I get that this could be a very costly recall, estimated to be more than US $1.8 billion. And I would argue that GM's reputation is at stake here. And importantly, as this will not be the last battery pack failure we see and battery fire, it's going to mean that all car makers should actually learn on how not to handle such an important recall. Rivian has started delivering its R1T electric pickup in the US, costing $73,000 American or about $100,000 Australian before our taxes. This significant milestone is important because at the moment in America, this is the first utility pickup truck. Yeah, good job, Rivian. Mind you, this lead that they currently have will probably be undone in 2022 when it's estimated that the Cybertruck will actually start production, as well as Ford's F-150 electric. And little side note, hey Aussies, if that's 2022 for America with the Cybertruck, that will most likely mean at least 2024, 2025 before we see it down under. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll talk more about Model Y and other stuff later on. Rivian has hinted in the past that right-hand drive versions will be available, and we learned very recently, see this video up here, that they actually slipped into the country about a month ago. What they're doing here, what they're testing, I don't know, who knows, but it's exciting times nonetheless. I didn't see this coming. Hyundai Genesis, the G4060 electric crossover. It's marked for a global launch in like coming months, ahead of its like mid Hyundai Genesis, by the way, is like the premium brand for Hyundai. So I think the title is for mid 2022, and it was spotted by a very keen member of the Electric Vehicle Australia group on Facebook, which I'm a member of, by the way. I don't comment there a lot. If you want to see more comments from me, look for me on Twitter. Anyway, from this photograph, we can see it's been poorly camouflaged. That's completely ugly. I like the side profile of this thing, the rear quarter, and the color, that copper. Ooh, it just pops out of you, doesn't it? Specs, to my knowledge, haven't been submitted in, but to my understanding, it's going to have the same 800 volt ultra-fast charging capacity, bi-directional capabilities as well, single and dual motor configuration, as well as 2 different battery sizes for like standard and long range. For more information, please go check out this great little article. This next one I love, and is a great demonstration of when the press stuff up an embargo. Last week we learned that Lucid Motors have now actually dethroned Tesla as the electric vehicle range king. Try saying that quickly with braces. They're coming up in a few weeks. I'm very excited. Nonetheless, the new Lucid Air Dream R, not yet available in the US by the way, can do like 830 kilometers on the American EPA test cycle. In other words, that's very accurate, and with a little bit of slipstream behind a truck and some good ambient air pressure and temperature, aka that Goldilocks point, you could do easily Melbourne to Sydney on one charge. Well done, Lucid Motors. Now, the previous king to this, or queen, hey, whatever you takes your fancy, is the Tesla Model S, and that held the record as being able to do what currently actually can do, about 650 kilometers on one charge. But mind you, once again, folks, let me just say, do you really want to be driving that long, like 8 hours, without even taking a toilet break? No. Take a break, rest up, and live. Something like that. Forgot the campaign, but you get the idea. BYD has launched its new electric vehicle platform, sexily named 3.0, and this new concept car, Ocean X, claiming that it has an improved efficiency, safety, and aesthetics. The E-Platform 3.0 aims to improve safety and low-temperature driving capabilities with as much as 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles of range through its what they're calling the world's first 8-in-1 electric powertrain with this like 3.0 battery platform. So key specs, it can accept a very rapid charge up to like 150 kilometers in just 5 minutes. Very impressive. Battery life and degradation, I have my doubts. In the press release, BYD say that direct cooling and heating system for the battery increases its thermal efficiency by up to 20% whilst reducing energy loss. In addition, the heat pump system can work at temperatures from like -30 degrees up to +60 degrees, and it has increased the range by up to 20% in winter. Good stuff. It's exciting to see what these Chinese makers are actually doing, and look, other car makers are using their battery packs and taking the learnings from them as well. So good on you, BYD, and yeah, I'd like to see your cars in Australia very soon. When's that happening? Anybody? Comment below, that'd be great. Okay, let's talk briefly about this rumor going around that Model Y has been delayed to mid to late next year. In the typical, a source who has asked to remain unnamed has supposedly works over in Tesla in Hong Kong and China, and has told the Driven, that the Australian launch of the vehicle is delayed at least until Q2 2022. So that basically means like April to June next year. And that's because demand for the Model Y is actually proven to be quite high in China. Now, this may well be very true, and the source actually maybe works at Tesla. Great. But regardless, we see demand in other markets for Tesla products to be high as well. Tesla has a demand problem, but they organize the strategy. The executive decision here lies with the board of Tesla and Elon Musk and all his directors. They're the ones who are going to be deciding when the Model Y is released to Australia and New Zealand, or right-hand drive markets more importantly. We already know it's coming to Hong Kong very, very soon. They've been able to order those for about a good 6 weeks or so now. And I don't think that it's going to be, one, that late, and two, that this source can be trusted. It doesn't matter if they work with Tesla. They don't have the big vision here. And essentially what Tesla will be deciding is that, okay, we're going to forsake sales to our local market that we can get cars to quite quickly, and we're going to deploy these to other markets because that's important. Already, Tesla has this problem whereby they launch cars. A good example here is the Roadster. And I'm not going to say launch, I'm going to say it was unveiled. And that was back in 2017. Hasn't yet even got into production, and last time we heard from Elon on this, he's talking about 2023. So that could therefore mean in Australia, because Model 3 took more than almost 3 years to get here. Model S was about 2 years or so, a bit longer as well. Model X, same experience. So this delay that they had because they were constrained by Fremont factory is still apparent and still really a big issue right now, even though they've got Shanghai Giga online. Very soon, they're going to have the Texas and Berlin factory. But again, strategy is executed from the top. And it doesn't matter if you're someone down in the organization, you don't know the big picture here. And, I think it's discouraging to people who want the Model Y, and they'll be looking to other car makers. And, okay, great. If you want to go buy another car, awesome, do it. But conversely, if you're the sort of person who has buyer's remorse and you go buy that car, and then suddenly Tesla the next day says, yeah, Model Y, you can order it now and deliveries are expected in about 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to be very annoyed, and it's going to put people off buying Tesla. And they could do better in this space. So I guess at the end of the day, ignore this sort of stuff. Elon, let us know when it's going to happen. Give us some actual info here. There's a lot of people I know who are actually waiting for this car, and yeah, bring it on. Some very interesting developments over in America with regards to the Tesla Full Self-Driving Beta update. Just this last week, 10.0.1 has been released, and Elon has said that feedback from it has been great, has been very good. But here's the one that's getting people very upset, and that is when 10.1 rolls out a week from Friday, the beta request button will actually request permission to assess driving behavior using Tesla Insurance Calculator. If driving behavior is good for 7 days, beta access will be granted. There's a lot to unpack there. And for those who don't know, in America, they actually have Tesla insurance. You can use that, and it might be cheaper than other, say, offerings. But nonetheless, how their insurance program works is that it uses all the data from your driving. It looks at car disengagements. rapid acceleration, a number of times you actually had to get nagged to keep your hand on the wheel, that sort of stuff. And so for people who are, let's say bad drivers, they might be doing this on their mobile phone. They might be launching a lot. They might be braking really heavy, and autopilot frequently says, "Hey, are you there?" And actually disengages and says it's not available to you. So some people who have FSD in America and have supported Tesla for a very long time are very upset by this. And they're saying, "Hey, Elon, we've supported your work for a long time. We've paid a lot of money for this. Give it to us now." And I'm guessing that some of those drivers are good drivers, and they are going to actually get this anyway. But conversely, there are others out there who, let's face it, they're out there. They're not going to get access to it, are they? Is this the right decision? I actually think yes, it actually is. Right now, Tesla needs as much good publicity as they can around this beta, and having people who might be distracted, might be a bit naughty, and push the absolute limits of FSD and not be completely in control of the vehicle and ready to take over at any time. Yeah, we don't want those people, do we? I don't think so. Disagree with me? Fine, but I think at the end of the day, what the decision Tesla has done here is actually a very smart one. What do you think? Do you think this is actually a good idea? Should they just let it go to everybody? Yeah, put it down below. Love to hear from you. Okay, last story for today, and I think we all saw this coming, and that's the end of the Tesla Referral program again. If you don't know, in the past, Tesla has actually modified the Tesla Referral program, had lots of big prizes out there, so some people have been fortunate enough to access potentially, when it comes out, the Tesla Roadster. People have got Tesla Powerwalls. The prizes used to be quite big and massive. Then they scrapped it. Then they announced a prize system that they'll announce every month or every quarter, I forget, that a lucky person would actually get a car. Never happened, never eventuated. The free kilometer thing, that if you use, say, my Tesla referral code, you get 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging, and so do I. Not that I have a Tesla, but you would. That sort of stuff. And the end of this program now to those 3 kilometers, I think is a sign of the times. Tesla has built now 2 massive gigafactories. It's got 2 more coming online soon. All the stock that they sell is sold. They don't have a demand problem, and they don't need to actually incentivize people into electric vehicles by giving them free supercharging credits. I think they could do it in the future, definitely. Let's say they've got some surplus stock at the end of a quarter and they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere, they want to move them. Maybe the salespeople who can actually reach out to people who maybe have got a reservation, they still exist. If they have a reservation online, they could call them and say, "Hey, look, if you join us now, we'll give you 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging." Might be a great little incentive to get people into that. Great. But yeah, I think that this is not a bad decision by Tesla. If anything, it's probably a very smart one. Running superchargers is a very costly exercise. I believe I've heard a rumor that each of those units is about $30,000 to $50,000. They've got to pay site leasing fees, or they have at least an agreement in place where there's a bit of a quid pro quo to, well, you scratch my back and you scratch mine, and there's a financial cost here, especially for the electricity. In Australia, we have demand charges. So the electricity company that Tesla pays money to for that juice that goes into your car actually costs not, let's say, 15 cents per kilowatt hour. It might cost them as high as like 60 to 80 cents per kilowatt hour. It's very expensive. So this program, I think I saw it coming. And they need to actually start turning this around to be a profitable business. And also, like we've seen Elon tweet to say that, look, they're thinking about opening up the supercharger network to people in Europe first, because demand for superchargers over there is actually quite low because they've got a lot of charging infrastructure. Great. They can actually, get other people, other customers onto those superchargers and charge them a premium and help pay for the cost of these units. So okay. Sad to see it go, I guess. Not that it affected me in any way, but I get that some people out there will, wants to supercharging credits actually expire, might be a bit not very happy about this. But anyway, I digress. What do you reckon? I've been rabbiting on too long, and for that reason, let's call this show done for today. And if you did enjoy it, consider it a sub. Really appreciate it. It's free. And if you want to support the channel, maybe join me on Patreon. But otherwise, you know what you can do. You be good and you be great.